Hello there. Thank you for joining me once again. I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper. I want to thank you so much for all the emails, which I get a copious amount of emails. Thank you so much for those of you who are being blessed by the program, strengthened by the program, freed. And I appreciate it so much. Continue to write me, Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. Many of you are asking when we're going to have the next Empath Conference. We are thinking about it, and we are planning to have it either the end of February, the first week of March. So listen up. We are going to put that information out soon. Dr. Brian and I are going to find a great pleasure bringing this to you. And many of the empaths that went attend the last conference was so awesome. Thank you so much for how you grew. Now I want to talk to you. You're writing me, and many of you saying, what is it with the new supply? It's like she's stalking me. It's like she's hunting me. What is going on? He discarded me. He got new supply. Why don't they leave me alone? So many of you have written me about this because you've been discarded and the new supply seem to be obsessed with you. So we are going to talk about when the new supply is obsessed with the old supply. And they're and you find them, they somehow they get your number, they call you, and they tell you he no longer belongs to you. You are out of the picture. Why don't you just leave them alone? And you haven't seen him in 6 months, you haven't seen him in a year, or you have been recently discarded, but you haven't seen him. And she think that you're with him. What is going on? Well, the narcissist, once the narcissist leave the old supply, I've said this in other videos, the narcissist give an obsession to the new supply intentionally by talking about the old supply and talking about how you were obsessed with them and how they really, really loved you. And they just had to get away because you were so obsessed, or you all couldn't work it out. And he find himself still vulnerable to the old supply. So the new supply is now challenged. They go into a mode of insecurity, and then the narcissists start fading away, and they do that intentional. So when they ghost the new supply to triangulate another supply, they get them obsessed with the old supply. And so they're on social media, they're finding out what you're doing, they're finding out who you're with, they're finding out your progression, they're looking for the narcissist, they're looking for signs of the narcissist. And if you do a video and you're posing, they're thinking you're posing for the narcissist, and you may not have seen the narcissist in 6 months, in a year. You're just taking a picture. But the new supply is so obsessed with you, they think the narcissist is there, and the narcissist is not. They call you, they hang up the phone, or if they even find out where you stay, they are going around your house, and you see this certain car, and this certain car sitting out maybe a few yards away, a few feet away from the house, and you're looking at them. You're like, who is that? And then you find out that it's the narcissist's new supply, because the narcissist, she then begin to drill and grill the narcissist about, where have you been? You with the old supply. And when the narcissist knows that, he will call you, she will call you and say, I heard that you were being stalked by this person. I don't know what it is. This person just seemed to be obsessed with me, and I didn't tell them about you. I think they went through my wallet. I think they did. And so they released that information to the new supply. And then they're calling the old supply, because the old supply noticed some variations with the new supply of calling, if you do a program, they are on your program, and you wonder, who is this person? They show up and they do awkward comments, and you finally find out it was the new supply. So you've been with the narcissist, experience with the narcissist, know exactly what the new supply is going through. You know that they are being triangulated. So he's ghosting them. He hadn't totally cut them off because he probably hadn't hooked that new supply, or he now has made the new supply the mainstream. So this is the main supply. So the main supply doesn't get cut off until you find another main supply. But the main supply get ghosted. They even get discarded. temporary discard. So that means that they leave a week and come back. Temporary discard means it's a calculable discard. That means that they come for a week and they go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then they come back. But that permanent is not a permanent discard, because narcissists very rarely do permanent discard. They may discard you for 5 years and all of a sudden they show up like they just left. And so what happens is this new supply is so obsessed with you because they thinking that the narcissist done went back and she's won or he's won, or the narcissist is falling in love with them. What I wanted, they are getting. And the narcissist now is obsessed with them. And so the new supply works harder. They work harder sexually, work harder financially, work harder in providing an atmosphere, work harder in catering, and nothing seemed to supply. And so once the narcissist know that he got this new supply in a hamster wheel, and they're obsessed with the old supply. And when the narcissist is doing it, because you have a soul tie, you can sense the narcissist. You can feel the narcissist. You're like, what is this? What is this I'm feeling? Then all of a sudden you start thinking of them, thinking of them, thinking of them. When you was getting out of it, the fog was leaving, and you're wondering, what is this? Why am I constantly thinking of them? And what happened? You're thinking of them because of the soul tie. He's registering information from you to this new supply, and he's really pulling on you. He's pulling on you through the lying, through the deception, because you got a soul tie. You can sense him, and then he tells you, and then once he tells you, what happens is now you have to fight, not thinking about the new supply, not wanting to call the new supply, to tell the new supply, stay off my trail. And what happened? You don't want to tell them to stay off my trail. You really want to fight the new supply. You really want to fight on them. Why? Because you're the reason I lost him. You're the reason I don't have him. I know I should be without him, but I didn't want him to leave. I didn't want, because sometimes we go into cognizant dissonance. We just excuse everything. We don't take the reality of it, and then we just accept anything because it's best to have them than not to have them. And you're going through torment every single day. And so now he got two obsession. And usually when the narcissist upset the old supply and get the old supply to start obsessing over the new supply of them staying out, because sometimes you're thinking, there's no way I want to go through what I went through. And that's why you need to go to my video, When the Supply Has Had Enough. Enough is enough. Go to that video and look at that video. There are certain characteristics, certain traits. When you know you're finished, this is a finished deal. This is not a reopen can. We're not going to reopen this. We're not going to re-immerse this. We're not going to do anything with this. This is Gone. And this with all capital letters. I'm done. I'm finished, even if you're not. And so the new supply been obsessed with the old supply. And now the old supply got her mind on the new supply, because he make the new supply seem like they're dangerous, that they're coming after them, that the new supply is thinking of you, the new supply is jealous of you. So you got all of this stuff that you're thinking about while you're trying to move on with your life. And what the narcissist is really doing with the old supply, because he done got tired of the new supply, is setting up a forum for a Hoover. So he's setting up that forum for a Hoover by breaking down all of your defense systems. And once he break those down, he start being nice. He start love bombing from a distance. Distant love bombing is when they don't go directly at you, but from an indirect mode. They start to compliment you, idolize you, build you up from a distance. And they are testing the ground to see, can they get back in? Because when the supplies had enough, all doors are shut. There even can't be a window escape here. You can't even get through the window. We done locked our window. We done closed our door. I done sealed the roof. I got ground level cover. So there's no place for you to come back into my life. And that narcissist know when you were at a finished state. He heard it in your voice. He saw it in your eyes. He can feel it in the house. He felt everything. But now he's trying to tear that down using the new supply. And when he does that, the narcissist has grown weary. He's grown bored with the new supply. And when the new supply, when he's grown bored, you know that he got you on, but there is a triangulation, because a narcissist is not going to be without fuel. They will do anything. They will go get someone that's drug addicted, homeless. They will go to the lowest depth to get fuel. And many of you have seen this happen. You can't believe the narcissist you with, how elegant and poised they were, how qualified and attractive they were, how intentional they were in everything they do. And I mean, they were just class all the way, gentlemen all the way, with their dress, the way they carry themselves, because narcissists are very big on image, especially the somatic, very big on image. They don't want you to think bad about them because of grandiosity. They have to be elite. They have to be supreme. They have to be important. And so this narcissist will go anywhere to get fuel until he released that present supply, triangulate another supply, and build now for the old supply. The old supply is the comfort zone. The old supply makes them feel like going back home, give them a sense of stability. The old supply. And that's why you keep saying he done moved on. Why he keep bothering me? Because it's like a fetal position. When a child or a person get in trouble, what do? They go back to that fetal position. That's the place of comfort. That's the place they remember when everything was safe. And the narcissists go back to the old supply because that was a safe zone. The old supply hung in there with them, went through with them, didn't dismiss them. No matter how much torment they got, they could depend on that old supply to be there for them until they have had enough. So the narcissists go back to the old supply, and it's like going back to the fetal position. They're going back home. They're going back to safety. They're going back to stability. They're going back to assured fuel. This fuel I know is good, and it's coming out from somebody that I can get copious amount of fuel until they hook that supply that they're working on, and they discard the supply that they left you for. So the new supply is totally obsessed with you. The new supply is jealous of you. The new supply, and you won't be amazed if they watch how you dress, and the next thing you know, they're trying to look like you. They wear their hair like you. They'll look at how you dress. Then they start dressing like you. Then the narcissists know, I'm on target. I got him. I got him right where I want to, because he know that's not them. He know that was you. Everything he did was intentional. And now the new supply is so obsessed with you until every waking minute of their day, they have to go and see what you're doing. And if you're on social media, they want to know where you went. They just obsessed. And so in order for that old supply not to get caught into the trap, that old supply going to have to occupy. You have to occupy your mind. If you've been discarded, I talk about the mind a lot. You have to occupy your mind. You have to get out, because the more you stay away from them, the fog is the fog is lifting. And so now you got all this hindsight. You saw all this stuff plainly that you didn't see when you was with them because of the fog. And when you are in the fog, how thick that fog is, you can't even see your hand in front of you. So you're driving real slow. And that's the way it is with your life, because the fog was in front of you and it was thick with those years being with the narcissist. You had to drive your life real slowly, and your life took on a pause button. And I mean, you was pausing, and then you just didn't have the stamina you have. You didn't have the creativity you have. Everything that you had is still on the inside, but you don't even have the strength to do it. You don't have the fortitude that is necessary to carry that mission out. I mean, it's just enough for you to breathe. It's just enough for you to live. And you're so occupied with the narcissist. Some of you were occupied with how I leave. How do I get out here? I feel like I'm losing my mind. You're not losing your mind. The enemy is playing with your mind. The narcissist want you to think like you're thinking, because they're making headway for themselves. And what the narcissist does is make sure they secure their fort, because they will be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. They usually do. I've had some of my people that have sessions with me, they have went away for 10 to 15 years. They didn't hear nothing. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they show up at the point of where they left. And they expected for that supply to be there. Even though they were married, they had a brand new family, it didn't matter to the narcissist, because that is their property. How is it your property? I'm nobody's property. You went on with your life, and I did the same. Now the husband and wife got a living hell because the narcissist is invading the premises, and they becoming obsessed with making sure you and your new husband, your new mate, are totally miserable. So now they're not looking for supply; they're only looking for fuel. Excuse me, and that fuel is coming from you and your new spouse, or you and your new mate. The narcissist will not back off. And when they have totally disintegrated that relationship and you think you finally cave and say, okay, they leave. They discard you. And they go to another supply. And to make your life more miserable, they talk to that supply about you. They're obsessed with your misery. And so they talk to that new supply. And that obsession that they have with your misery, they make that new supply obsessed with through jealousy. And they want to be you because they really want the love of the narcissist. And the narcissist plays it up like he was so in love with you. And he wasn't. You went through everything that the new supply is going through. But she don't know what she has. She don't know he's a narcissist. She know he's different. She know he's strange. She know this is weird. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? What? Who in their normalcy would do that? And they're questioning themselves. But they don't know. The narc will. And you know. So, you have a stalker. Some of you. And it's not the narcissist. They don't know they become a flying monkey. And they are acting on the behalf of the narcissist's desires. And he has them so obsessed with you until they are working overtime, trying to compete against you, and you are not even in the game. So I hope that have answered a lot of questions for those of you who are saying, why am I bothered by the new supply? Because he's talking about you. He want her to be bothered. They want him to be bothered. Because as long as they are bothered, they are off. All attention don't go on the narcissist when he's misbehaving. They are seeing you and the narcissist. And when the narcissist leave, they're running to their obsession to find out everything about you. You didn't know there was someone living, breathing, to be like you. And you're thinking, you can have him. You can keep him. Package him. Package him like you want to package him. But I'm done. Please go to my video, When the Supply Has Had Enough. You're going to find it thrilling. You're going to find it reviving. You're going to find it rejuvenating. You'll see yourself and discover yourself. My girl, my guy, get up. When the new supply is so obsessed with you, you are so powerful. Let the narcissist play his game while you play your success. You really want to get back at the narc. Succeed. Get up and succeed. If you don't have children, you don't have to respond to him. Social media, text, call, don't respond. That is a long distance Hoover. And when he does that, he has you on the books to come back. And before you know it, he's right there. And some of you fell for the trick. And he's right there. And you have recycled your torment. And I hope this video encourage you, strengthen you to stay in C, to stay strong. And if you find yourself getting weak, occupy. Don't go back into the torture you came out of. You're better than that. You're more powerful than that. You're more beautiful than that. That's why they can't stay away. If they can't, you do. I'm Helen Sattler, your destiny helper. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push that bell. Every time I come on, you will be alerted. Make sure you leave your comments at the bottom. I so enjoy reading them and respond to them. And if you want to write me, Destiny Helper, 12s@gmail.com. I still do sessions. I do audio sessions. I do video sessions. And the video session and audio session would be my pleasure. Write me and I can tell you the details of those sessions. Destiny Helper 12s@gmail.com. Also, I'm a member of Clubhouse. Those of you who know about Clubhouse, join me on Clubhouse. I love you to life, and I'll see you on the next video. And remember, the new supply is obsessed with your existence. So give them something to see. Love you.